Hello, welcome to Tips on Teens. My name is Kent Toussaint, licensed marriage and family therapist at Teen Therapy Center here in Woodland Hills, California. Coming to you live on Facebook every noon and Wednesday to answer your parenting questions that you email to us. And here is today's question. I'm curious about how limiting or prohibiting social media use affects kids. I have a 9-year-old and I don't let her have any social media accounts. I'm a little worried that this might be alienating her from her peers who seem to use all sorts of different social media platforms. However, I personally believe social media is quite detrimental for kids. Am I wrong to completely disallow social media? No, I don't think you are at all. I think you should be limiting your 9-year-old's social media use. Social media is designed for a lot of people to connect and communicate, but it's gone a little haywire. It's not just about that. It's also about comparisons. It's also about getting likes and getting followers. And a 9-year-old or a 13-year-old and even some 17-year-olds aren't emotionally capable of handling that. What happens is they get obsessed, as some adults do too, but there's this obsession of, I need to be liked, I need to be accepted. So much of teens and young adults and adolescents, their focus is to find that acceptance, find how they fit in, make sure they find the reassurance that they are a worthwhile person. Social media, I don't think, is a healthy way to do that. Finding ways to connect with friends face-to-face is a really good way to do that. But kids can get obsessed on it, on how many likes, and also comparing. And also what we know on social media is what people put out on social media is not who they really are. It's their idealized selves. And a 9-year-old, especially a 9-year-old, isn't savvy enough to understand that. There have been a lot of studies been coming out over the last 10 years how adolescent and young adult depression and suicide is on the rise. And it's on the rise right along with social media. Now, there's debate on whether social media is the cause of that or a cause of that. My personal belief is, I think it is. I see it. I see it all the time with kids have FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out, right? And so they have this fear that if they're not on social media, they're going to miss something really important. And it's horrible, and they feel horrible, and they feel awful, and they feel the friends are going to leave them, and no one's going to like them. So if they're in there, it's really difficult for them to find that balance. So if you do decide to give your kids social media, and that is totally your right, and there are a lot of kids who have social media, before you go in, make sure you have really clear boundaries. Make sure you know what the boundaries are, because most of the families I work with wish they had started that way. They wish they had had really clear boundaries, because once you start, it's hard to pull it back because they're in it. Make sure that you have access and you're watching it so you can see what's going on with their kids. Is there cyberbullying going on? When I was talking to a colleague of mine today about is, when as adults, when we were kids, there may be bullying, or we may get picked on at school. When we come home, we have that safety. Well, not anymore, because it's all online. It's always there. And if you're in the social media world, you can't get out. So again, it's the social pressures, it's the pressures of trying to measure up to influencers and other people's ideal selves that aren't really truth. And it's just a matter of finding ways to connect. Now, you may also be asking, well, if my kid's not on social media, they're not connecting with people and they're going to feel lonely and bored. And that's our job as parents, to get them involved in other things, whether it's a sport, whether it's scouts, whether it's theater, whatever it is. Make sure they're involved in social activities so they can have that face-to-face connection. One last point on this, and I think it's really important, is it used to be that on weekends, kids would look forward to the weekend to go do something with friends and have fun. But now, what you're looking forward to is doing something where you take a cool picture to post it online to show that you are worthwhile and you have friends. And that's not a healthy way to go through life. So I encourage you to set boundaries and limitations on social media as much as you can. Delay it as much as you can. And good luck. It's not easy because we're all on social media. You're right now on social media watching me. So I understand the irony in that message right there. So anyways, again, there's a lot more we can say about this. If you have more questions, contact us. If you have a question that you'd like me to answer on the next Tips on Teens, you can email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com, or you can direct message us here right on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you next Wednesday, and have a good week. Bye-bye.